you see the blink I have in my eye. What you hear in yourself when no one's to be found? What keeps you eased out? What takes you off your mind?
Yes, you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if I tried it.
Hey guys, welcome to LA Love Creative, and in this video I will break down some tips and tricks on how to photograph swimwear, which is a style a lot of fashion and portrait photographers will encounter from time to time. Now, I recently had a swimwear photo shoot that I can showcase some of the behind the scenes for the use of this video. Shout out to the awesome model Kendra and my wife for helping me out on this photo shoot. Tip number 1 is controlling the sun. What time of day are you going to shoot? I usually try to shoot around magic hour, so sunrise, sunset, but depending on how long you are going to plan your shoot on that day, magic hour often goes by very quickly. So one of the rules is to start shooting a few hours before magic hour. This will ensure that you will be able to get all the photos that you're trying to get. A lot of times you're shooting for a brand or a company, and we'll have a lot of different looks you have to capture. So it wouldn't make sense to just shoot in that small window of time for magic hour. If you do find yourself shooting, midday, the sun is over your head, then I would try my best to find a way to either backlight your model or have an assistant Hollywood a diffusion frame overhead, or you can even rent like an 8x8 or 12x12 diffusion frame for softer light. Depending on the look you're going for, I would plan using a sunsetter app or something like that, just so you know where the sun is, going, and that way you can plan, the lighting accordingly. Another quick tip, this doesn't have to do particularly for lighting, but I would suggest trying to make the model kind of shiny, either by using baby oil, water, or my favorite, which is a coconut olive oil spray that I learned from a photographer named Anita Sadowska. She's on YouTube. She had an awesome tip to use this, and I've been using it now on every swimwear shoot that I have.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Swear your love is ecstasy. Get high when you're next to me. I'm in the clouds. Your touch is my remedy. Lose all of my sanity. I love the sound when you tell me I'm the only one. Way you got me feeling makes me come undone. Baby, you make it look easy. At the top, but you can meet me. Rise and shining like the sun. You're the coffee in my cup. Couldn't ever get enough of your love. Taking me up.
Tip number 2 is choosing the right gear, the right equipment for the job. One of the biggest tips when it comes to gear is not what kind of camera you're going to use. Nowadays, you can pretty much use any type of camera, any type of new camera for photography. They're all amazing. My tip when it comes to gear has to do with the right lens for the job. The perfect lens for this type of work, in my opinion, one that you will see on Sports Illustrated behind the scenes or any high-end swimwear shoot, is a 70-200 telephoto lens. The reason for this is to give your talent minimal distortion. It will also compress the subject, making them appear a little bit more leaner. I use a RF 70-200 f4. I know it's not a f2.8, but I'm not really worried about the aperture because when you're using a telephoto lens, it will also compress the background, giving you a more blurrier background as you zoom. Depending on how much space you have in the location, that will kind of dictate what kind of telephoto lens you choose, because you're going to have to move really back and you're going to need a lot of space to move. Another great gear purchase that I think every photographer should have is a 3-in-1 reflector. They're pretty cheap and they will allow you to bounce, diffuse, and even subtract light with negative fill, the black side. And that with the telephoto lens is pretty much all the gear you're going to need on a swimwear shoot. Tip number 3 would be have a strong theme. This will help you establish better color and composition in your images. When it comes to most swimwear shoots and summer looks, try to make sure you're following a theme and stick with it. For this shoot, I wanted to showcase the colorful and bright white backgrounds paired with the muted and less saturated swimwear pieces. Once you have a visual reference you have chosen, try to figure out ways to enhance your visuals with the color. Pay attention to the color in your foreground and background and how it reacts to the swimwear and the clothes that you're shooting.
Got me tripping over all of these lines. I can't fight you. I'm spinning down, head over my heart, turning inside out. Love me in the dark, looking at you now. I can't get enough.
Another way to level up your compositions is to use props that fit the theme. In this shoot, we used a fancy bottle of water that the model poured on herself, which was a great way of making the images a little bit more playful. And also later in the shoot, we used an old book to have the model cover herself up with, and it also fit the color and the mood because it was brown, and a lot of the swimwear we were shooting was neutral colors like that. Just be aware of the themes for your shoot, and that way it'll help the props that you choose for your compositions.
I can't lie, yeah. I'm spinning down, head over my heart, turning inside out. Love me in the dark, looking at you now. I can't get
Now that's all the tips I have on how to photograph swimwear. If you have any questions about photography or videography, hit me up in the comments below, and I will see you next time. See you later.